You are watching Mpack Reacts.
Yo, what it do, ski? It's your boy Impact Will. Where my peoples at, man, that really know how to put on their imagination, man, and just really escape. You feel me? Really know how to just take yourself to another place. You feel me? In this video, man, we're gonna go into some more, retro. Back in the day, nostalgia type of vibe. You feel me on this jointation? So let's go back into the '90s, y'all. Come on, man. Where the times was good at?
If you grew up in the 1990s, you remember a time before everything went digital. Listening to music on CD players, hoping the disc wouldn't skip. Sitting on the internet and praying no one picked up the phone in the middle of a download. And of course, Friday night trips to the video store weren't just routine. They were part of how we lived. This is growing up in the 1990s. We were the last to really live.
Yeah. Remember them good old days going back to the video stores, man. Just rent the movie, man. You feel me?
In the early 90s, CD players started replacing cassette Walkmans, and it felt like a big upgrade. No more rewinding tapes or flipping sides.
And there was some, man, dealing with the, man, I got a lot of different things to say about the CDs, man. The CD players, you can get a cheap one that you scratch every time. As soon as you make a move or a bump, it's skipping and all that stuff. That you can buy them good ones where it's just playing all the way through, whether it's scratched or not, whether you bump it or jumping or nothing. You feel me?
Just pop in a disc and skip straight to your favorite track. The sound was clearer, more polished, especially compared to worn-out cassettes. But they weren't perfect.
Ideal proving ground for the Sony Discman with ESP. We developed ESP technology.
Most of us remember walking around trying not to jostle the thing, because even with anti-skip tech, a small bump could make the music jump ahead mid-song. People carried them flat in one hand like a tray, just to keep things steady. Still, it was worth it. CDs felt like the future, even if you had to babysit the player. There was something about making mixtapes that was just magic. The task of hitting record at
look, I was a king of that. I'm talking about, boy, I stayed with mixtapes with cassette tapes.
The right moment, trying to avoid the DJ talking over the song, and hoping you didn't end up with an awkward fade-out at the end. It was an art form. We made them for ourselves, for our crushes, or just to share with friends. The mix of songs on a single tape told a story. And then, as CDs took over, we switched to burning our mixes on.
Come on, bro. I can still remember, like, I'm so burnt out on the mixtapes. I'm so used to hearing it in the way that I had on the mixtape. When I hear it a different way, it just throws me off.
To discs. Too bad kids today will never really know the thrill of exchanging a mixtape with a friend, or the rush of hearing that perfect song when you hit play. And don't say you never made a mixtape back in the day. Friday nights used to mean grabbing a worn-out VHS tape, sliding it into the VCR, and hitting play. Whether it was a movie you owned or one you rented from the corner video store, there was something special about
this is my favorite era.
Watching it on your own TV. The picture was grainy. The tracking sometimes needed adjusting, but that was part of the charm. And remember those insert sheets that came with new blank tapes? We had dozens of them, always nearby, just in case. The soft whir as the tape loaded, that satisfying click, it meant you were in for a good time, right there in your living room.
Okay, and we can play it on my brother's computer.
Okay, no problem. All we gotta do is...
Before flash drives or cloud storage, we had floppy disks. And I mean floppy. If you're old enough, you might remember the big 8-inch ones, or those 5...
Kids don't know nothing about them these days.
5.25-inch discs that actually bent when you held them. But most of us used the 3.5-inch kind, the hard plastic ones with that little metal slider. I used to pull it back with my finger just to hear it snap shut. And when your computer started reading it, that clicking and whirring sound meant your files were, hopefully, loading. It wasn't high capacity, but back then, it felt like the future. There was a time when Friday nights meant heading to the video rental store, whether it was Blockbuster, Hollywood Video, or Suncoast. You'd
Yes, sir. Like I said, this was my favorite time to go to that good old Blockbuster, man. Or the little, mom and pop little jointations, you feel me?
grab your membership card, ready to pick out your weekend movie haul.
The mom and pop boys was better because they was cheaper. Like, you know what I'm saying? You go on a Blockbuster and you gonna pay $3, $4 for something. You know what I'm saying? Go to the mom and pop boy, you go off a show paying $2 back in the day.
New releases were a big deal, and you'd always hope the latest blockbuster was still available, because they were in high demand, and if you weren't fast enough, you'd end up with something else. The shelves were lined with VHS tapes, and the excitement of picking out the perfect one.
You definitely had to go over there and look at that, bro. You better hope that boy had a couple tapes behind one of them, better you too.
Then racing home to watch it was its own kind of magic. No streaming, no instant access, just the thrill of picking a movie off the shelf. Remember that unforgettable sound when you connected to the internet? That screeching, buzzing noise that seemed to go on forever? You knew you were about to dive into something new, but it always felt like an adventure or a test of patience. If someone in the house picked up the phone while you were online, it was like losing all progress, especially if you were downloading a file and everything would reset from the beginning. It wasn't uncommon to hear your mom yelling, "Don't pick up the phone, I'm waiting for an important call." And don't forget that heart-pounding moment when the screen finally loaded and that iconic "You've got mail" popped up. Pogs were one of those things that defined the 90s.
But look, I got some cool pogs. Elf pogs. Remember Elf?
They were everywhere, at school, in kids' pockets, and on the playground. The game itself was simple, but the fun was endless. You'd gather with friends, each with their own stack of pogs, ready to battle it
So it was a game? I never knew that.
out. The goal? Knock the other person's pogs out of the stack using your own. But it wasn't just about the game. It was about the excitement of collecting them, trading them with friends, and showing off
That's what I thought. It was like a collector's item, right? You know what I'm saying?
your best ones. Every pog was a little piece of nostalgia, and that feeling of victory when you won a trade or knocked out a rare one was unbeatable. Saturday mornings in the 90s were a magical time. The TV was our window to a world of adventure, and it all started with a bowl of cereal.
Man, come on now. A bowl of cereal, some cartoons, you feel me? I still kind of look forward to that. I ain't gonna lie. I never get around to doing it, but even with my son, I be wanting to just wake up on a good Saturday morning. Hey, man, let's get some breakfast, watch one of these cartoons, you feel me, for a couple hours. You feel me? Nah, back off.
In hand. New episodes of Winnie the Pooh, Scooby-Doo, and Beetlejuice would kick off the weekend, each show a new adventure to dive into. The excitement of discovering what was coming next kept us glued to the screen, while the theme songs became the soundtrack of our childhood. Saturdays weren't just about cartoons, they were about the simple joy of the weekend and all the possibilities it brought. And when the cartoons ended, well, it was time to go outside and start our own adventures. Back in the early 90s, smoking was everywhere. It's hard to believe, but you could even light up inside a McDonald's. Remember those little foil ashtrays they had on the tables? It wasn't just fast food joints. People smoked in
You definitely used to be able to fire up everywhere back in the day.
restaurants, on planes, and even in movie theaters. The air was thick with it, and nobody thought twice. Whether it was after a meal or with a drink at the bar, smoking was just part of the experience. It's hard to imagine now, but thankfully, bans on smoking in these places came soon after, making the air a little cleaner for everyone. Disposable cameras were everywhere back in the day. You'd take them to birthdays, weddings, parties, really, any event worth remembering. No one had phones in their pocket.
I like the big boy joint tastes that you just spit the little camera, the little picture out, and then you wave it around and it clear up.
Just those little plastic cameras. You'd snap a few photos and hope for the best, then wait days to get them developed. The fun was in the surprise. Half the shots were blurry, someone's eyes were closed, but it didn't matter. Even now, you can still find them, bringing back that old school charm. Before Google and smartphones, there was Encarta, the encyclopedia on a CD-ROM that felt like the future. You'd pop it into your computer and spend hours exploring, clicking from one topic to the next.
Well, I never knew what Encarta. Well, I always used to see Encarta, but I never knew what it was.
Out of pure curiosity. It wasn't just for school projects. Sometimes you'd dive into it just for the fun of learning. There were sound clips, timelines, even short videos, and of course, Mind Maze. The trivia.
Matter of fact, that's what it was. That's what we used to play. They used to give us that to play like games like that on there.
A game that made you feel like
When I didn't know the encyclopedia, I had to read it clearly to see that.
a genius. Back then, it felt like having the whole world right there on your screen. There was a time when every road trip started with unfolding a big paper map across the kitchen
This was we had paper Google. You hear me?
table. You'd trace your route with a finger, maybe even highlight it with a marker. Most of us kept one stuffed in the glove box, just in case. They'd get worn at the creases and sometimes torn, but they never ran out of battery or lost signal. Even today, if you're out in the middle of nowhere with no internet, that old folded up map might.
Bro, just thinking we gotta follow maps still to this day, like you taking a road trip down south somewhere, bro. You like, bro, man.
just save the day. It wasn't the most convenient, but it did the job, and there was something rewarding about figuring it out as you went. In the days before the internet made walkthroughs and cheat codes easy to find, gaming magazines were our go-to guide.
I definitely remember them too.
Magazines like Electronic Gaming Monthly, Game Pro, and Tips and Tricks were practically like treasure maps, leading us to the best tips, cheats, and reviews. Each issue was a mini event. We'd flip through the pages, finding new tricks to try or sneak peeks at
Bro, that magazine bringing me back so many memories looking at that. That's crazy, dog.
upcoming games. It was a world of gaming discovery before the days of online forums or YouTube tutorials. You had to wait, savor it, and sometimes even fight for the best tips. PB Crisps were a beloved snack from the 90s, shaped like
Bro. Them jointations was so fire. They got strawberry over there, bro. Them jointations was so fire. I'm still mad to this day that they not on the market, bro. If I can go, bro, if I could order them right now, bro, I'll get 10 bags. No cap.
peanuts and packed with delicious fillings like peanut butter, chocolate, or even peanut butter and jelly. Their crunchy outer shell and smooth, creamy filling created the perfect snack experience. Whether you grab them for a quick snack after school or pack them in your lunch, they
Look at that whole setup right there, bro. I need that whole setup right there, bro. That Super Mario World, that Super Nintendo, you feel me? I never had a Super Nintendo. Was always jealous and always wanted one. I always was Sega. Then I went from Sega to 64. You feel me? Like, I was basic with it. Like, I feel like the niggas were so excited for having the Super Nintendo. Like, you feel me?
were a staple for many. Sadly, PB Crisps are no longer around, but for those who remember, they still bring back those tasty memories of the 90s. What comes to mind when you think of the 90s? I'd love to hear your memories in the comments. And if you enjoyed this little...
Man, that was it. That jointation was fire, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. That boy snapped back and hit some memories. Now this YouTube channel is called Memory Trails. We're gonna definitely jump back and find us another jointation to react to. That was fire. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I liked it, that jointation. So go ahead and subscribe to them if y'all want to fool with that. But we're gonna get back to another jointation, man. Y'all let me know if y'all want something specific y'all want me to react to. Like I said, y'all can send it to my Instagram, Instagram or TikTok at Mpack Reacts TV. You feel me? And yeah, I'll be back with another jointation. So lock in and stay tuned. You hear me? And I'll be back with another jointation.
You are watching Mpack Reacts.